How we doing, everyone? We are now out at our Lewin Way project today. Another beautiful day out in Scarborough. You guys seem to be picking the good days to be filming out here when the sun's out. As you can see, we've had our roof chippy team out, or our chippy crew really, pitched the bulk of the main roof on this house. The whole roof is done out of 190/35 rafters, and then rather than having an insulation layer on top of our ceiling, which you normally would see in most builds around Perth, we are actually insulating our rafters. So yeah, people call it a warm roof, an insulated roof cassette. There's a few names for it, but effectively what we are going to have is we will have this Intello membrane, another one of ProClima's products. This is their internal smart vapor barrier. So yeah, we'll have this Intello membrane. We're then going to have 2 layers of Bradford HD 2.7 insulation in each bay of all the rafters, which will give us an R5.4. Doing the 2 layers will also allow us to overlap the bats as we go, so there'll be no holes, no gaps in that insulation layer. And then on top of that, we'll use the Mentello Plus ProClima again, like you've seen us use in the past. That's the black membrane. That'll all be taped in. So then effectively our whole insulation layer is fully wrapped. There'll be no wind washing through it. It'll be airtight from underneath, vapor permeable, same deal with the roof. We will then do our cavity batten system and then our roof battens for our roof sheeting. All that will be fully vented. So it'll be a real healthy, well-insulated roof assembly. We're just going through, before we start putting our underpurlins and our ceiling joists in, and we're doing some starter strips of the Intello because we won't be able to get back and make that continuous at a later date. So you can see up here where our underpurlins are. All we've got to do now is join with another roll of Intello, this section to that section, tape it all in, and then our roof will be continuous. To then also continue that internal air barrier, we come down, we bring it down onto the brickwork, and then when our renderers and plasterers come through, they will then render and plaster on top of that, and then that will then become our internal air barrier. We'll bring you through later on in the stage again, and we'll show you how that's all coming together. We've also had Dermot and Kylie out at EcoBead Perth and Spray Foam WA. So they've eco-beaded, which is what you can see in here. It's a graphite EPS foam. That's that colour. They then shoot it in with an adhesive with it, and that is what we're using to insulate all our existing double brick walls. They then also spray foamed underneath all the floor frame where we have timber floor frame assemblies. That again is just helping a little bit with our air tightness on our floor layer, but also gives us insulation underneath our timber floors, which generally wouldn't have anything. We've also got Sam, guys at Brick Hub. They're out at the moment again doing all the brickwork out the front. They're starting on the retaining walls first. We can get them cavity filled, and then they'll start on all the nice face work on the garage. Other than that, we've obviously still got a bit to do here, ceiling frame wise and finishing off all the roofs and all the overhangs, but we're tracking along with some good progress here, and we are hoping to be at lock-up stage by Christmas. Another really important thing that we have to do whenever we're building like a high performance home or a home that's going to perform well and be comfortable for our clients is that thermal envelope, or that thermal layer, needs to be continuous. Standard brick construction here, we've got our external wall finishing 4 courses below the internal wall, so we've eco-beaded up to here, but then we also need to insulate from this layer up into where our roofing insulation is going to be. So we're going to have to affix a bit of insulation from the top of this brickwork up to the underneath of that bottom plate, which we'll show you when we come to it. But yeah, very important to keep that that thermal envelope or that external insulation continuous with no breaks. Otherwise, you're not wasting your time, but you're really heavily reducing the effectiveness of having insulation.